We gonna look like some punk ass bitches out there?
Motherfucker, I will punk your ass for
Yo,
saying some shit.
drink,
Shut
man.
the fuck up, man. This nigga too ignorant to have the fucking floor.
So as you already know, the Sonic movie sequel has come out and it's doing really well, and I wanted to talk about something in particular because I feel like there's been some changes with regards to the characters, and of course there's new characters being added to the sequel, and I figured we should do a character tier list to rank where I would put each of the characters in terms of how they were portrayed in the movie, as well as compare it to how I felt about them in the first movie for those of those who carried from the first movie. Characterization is a very important thing when it comes to Sonic, and although the last 10 years of games don't seem to know that, it's good to see that the movie is doing a pretty good job of portraying these characters. I don't know why I have to say this, but it goes without saying there's gonna be spoilers in this video. It's about the movie, it's about ranking the characters. I don't know why you'd click on this video if you haven't seen the movie already. Like, if you don't want to be spoiled, like, you're kind of putting yourself in, you know, dangerous positions. But yes, we are going to get into this tier list and basically rank everything one by one. So we've got all the characters here, pretty much the important ones, the ones that speak, right? I think I've got pretty much every speaking character, minus anything irrelevant. I don't know, there's probably a few irrelevant ones I left out. But these are pretty much the major characters of the movie. I just put this one image here just to mark the Russian people, the Siberia people, basically. I didn't really want to do them individually because, come on, let's be real. But yeah, that's pretty much the tier list that I made. So we're going to get into this front and center. We're going to start with, of course, our Lord and Savior, the Sonic the Hedgehog. And I believe that he deserves an S tier ranking. And you might be thinking, well, it's the Sonic, of course he's gonna get an S tier. But no, actually, I would argue in the first movie he was more of an A, not an S. I'll say he was an S in the second movie for two reasons. One, he just had more to bounce off of because there's more Sonic characters, like Tails and Knuckles were here, which is a lot more to banter with, essentially. And two, in the first movie, Sonic was like this babyish character who was being like taken care of by Tom the cop or whatever, and I'm not saying I disliked that, but more so it put Sonic in the more weaker position, I guess. Whereas in this movie, because he was next to Tails, and you know, Tails is a bit of a bitch, it means that Sonic was the confident one in that situation. He was taking care of Tails, and Tails got to be the baby of this movie. So it allows Sonic to show his more mature side, essentially, and I liked that. Just for the record, if Roger had done the exact same lines that Ben Schwartz did, the whole movie would have been cringe. Like, I just have to say that right now because, like, this is Ben Schwartz can pull off those lines, but like if Roger did this whole thing, it would have been. I just have to say it. Now we've got over here Agent Stone, and Agent Stone is definitely growing on a lot of people, me included. Like the first movie, I mean, I enjoyed Stone, but I feel like the people making the movie didn't know if people were gonna like Stone much, so he didn't get as much screen time. But I feel like here they kind of knew that Stone was liked, so they kind of gave him a bit more to work with, which I definitely enjoyed. So for me, I'm going to give Stone an A, probably top 2 of the non-Sonic characters, right? So I definitely want to see more of him. I hope he's in the third movie as well. I mean, I don't see why they'd get rid of him as long as Robotnik's around, right? And then we've got the gun agent guy, the Olive Garden guy. I think his name is Commander Walters or some shit like that. His role in the movie wasn't too big, but I feel like he did what he needed to do. He was enjoyable, right? I can't really give him an A, right? I mean, I guess he did what he had to do, but I don't know. I feel like he deserves a B. I mean, he's a good character. I want to see him in Sonic Movie 3, and I mean, he should be because, you know, Gun, right? I mean, I guess he got a bit more of a role than he did in the first movie, so, you know, I guess that's good, but yeah, I think a B is fair for this character. And then, of course, we've got Eggman, or Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, and obviously I'm gonna give him an S, but I'm gonna put him below Sonic. Now, in the first movie, I would have given Robotnik the #1 slot, like the highest S tier there is. But I feel like in the second movie, I don't want to say he was worse, because it's just that the first movie he had more work to do. He had to carry the whole movie on his back, because it was basically Robotnik and Sonic doing all the Sonic related work for the movie, and everyone else is just non-Sonic characters. But here, there were so many other Sonic related characters, like Tails and Knuckles, especially Knuckles doing a lot of the work, so Robotnik didn't have to do as much, and as a result, I think he's not going to take the top slot. Plus what I said with Sonic being better in the second movie. I mean, some people even preferred the first movie's Robotnik because he was less over the top. I don't know, like, I get where they're coming from. He was a bit more realistic in the first movie, but in the sequel, he was stranded in the mushroom planet for like 2 years or whatever. So it was only natural that he was going to become more insane. So I kind of feel like it was a natural progression. I'm hoping the third movie adds the fat suit for the full progression, but we'll see what happens. That being said, Robotnik did have one of the most cringe lines in the entire movie. When he was trying to impress Knuckles or put Knuckles on his side, he was like, "Earth is my turf, G. You don't know how to floss, you'll be lost." Oh my god. Oh my god. The cringe, the cringe, the cringe. Then we've got the homie Knux. Oh, the homie, oh my god. Carried. Okay, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. This nigga carried a whole fucking movie, okay? And he's black, so when I say this nigga carried the shit, this nigga carried the shit, okay? His whole demeanor, like, his personality was so serious, but still comedic. Like, they nailed Knuckles. In terms of origin story Knuckles, this is the best one. Facts, because they took what was the best origin story plot, which was the one from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, that was later expanded upon in Sonic Adventure 1, and they did it with a better voice than what was in Adventure 1, because, I mean, the Adventure 1 Knuckles voice was alright, but nothing special, and obviously better animations than Adventure 1, better CGI than Adventure 1, like, better everything. So, essentially, we're talking origin stories, this is the best one. Does it mean it's my favorite Knuckles ever? Not necessarily, because I still think that 4Kids era Dan Green Sonic X Knuckles is still like my favorite. And I also really love Scott Dreyer Knuckles. And we're just talking general personality. That Dreyer Dan Green era Knuckles is still my favorite. But in terms of just like nailing his origin story, this is the best one for that. Like one individual story, this is the best one. Like the way he just managed to turn every little thing like so like warrior serious. Like they got to the beach and then like Knuckles just saved Sonic's life and then he was like, "Don't talk to me, I'm not in the mood." Sonic just hits him with the sandball. "How dare you attack me in my hour of sorrow?" And then Sonic's like, "Why did you save me?" And then Knuckles just buries Sonic with the sand and he's like, "Because you saved me first," which clearly gave you a tactical advantage. Like chill. Like, oh my god. And then when they were fighting the Death Egg robot and Sonic had a plan to go and like finish off the robot and Knuckles was like, "You're a brave warrior, go to your certain death." And Sonic's like, "You gotta work on your pep talks." Oh my god, Knuckles just carried this whole fucking thing, man. I carried, like, seriously. And then we've got Longclaw, which was just like a flashback, and the whole Longclaw thing is kind of like I guess we don't want Sonic to have a regular mom, because then we have to have like a blue hedgehog mother or some shit like that, so they went with the owl thing. It gets the job done, I guess. Like, yeah, it gets the job done. I'll give it a B, you know. I can't really compare it much to the first movie. It's the same Longclaw. It's just like a flash. I don't think it was an exact flashback, but it was basically like a flashback. So it's not really much of a comparison point here. You know what? Put it in C. Put it in C. Okay. Then we got Maddie, aka Tom Wachowski's wife. We got Maddie Wachowski, and I don't know. I feel like she got less role in the second movie compared to the first movie. Like, honestly, I feel like the first movie she did more. Which I guess makes sense because there was less Sonic characters, so even Tom's wife was going to get more of a role. I would argue in the first movie, she was probably like a B, maybe? But in the second movie, I really don't feel like she did much, you know? So, like, it was nothing like to... I don't really dislike her or anything like that. She just didn't really feel like she had much of a role. I mean, they did have the wedding scene, which I think was good. Like, I know a lot of people hated the wedding scenes, like the whole situation with the wedding, they had to break Sonic and Tails out of there, as well as Tom. I didn't hate the wedding scenes. I get that maybe they could have trimmed it down a bit, but I will say this, the wedding scenes were not the worst scene of the movie, okay? It was not the worst scene. I will tell you what the worst scene is in a minute, but it was not the wedding scene, okay? I guess I could still give Maddie the B. I mean, I like Maddie, but it just didn't do much of her in the second movie, so it's hard to really give her a higher ranking, you know? And then we've got Rachel, Maddie's sister. Now, in the first movie, I didn't really like her much because I feel like they were playing too much of the stereotypical black women trope, which I guess fine, but it just felt a bit over the top in the first movie. The second movie though, I feel like they gave her a bit more of an arc, and I enjoyed that arc a lot more. Once again, the wedding scene, like I feel like she did her thing. Like, and another thing about the wedding scene, right? A lot of people are mad that it was even in the movie in the first place, but like I was one of the few people before the first movie came out championing for like CGI Sonic movies. Like I wanted the whole thing to be like some Pixar CGI shit. But it's like once you start establishing these human characters, you can't just put them there as props and then just call it a day. Like once you put them in there, you kind of have to flesh them out. You can't just take it out the movie and just have it be the Sonic character. Otherwise, they should have never established those human characters in the first place. Sonic should have never lived with Tom. Sonic should have just done his own thing from movie 1. And then if you had a second movie, then it wouldn't have to be a wedding scene or a Tom or a Maddie. But back to Rachel, I'm gonna go ahead and give her the low A. She was enjoyable to me in this movie. I wouldn't want her out of the movie is what I'm saying. Just like how done she was with like Sonic, and then Tails showed up, it's like, oh shit, there's 2 of them. I mean, the Snow My God line was cringe, but you know. Then we got Rachel's fiance. I think his name is Randall. He was pretty decent as well. I mean, I put him around that low A. Pretty interesting. He pranked Tom. I think that was interesting. I enjoyed that. The GUN fake out thing was a little bit interesting as well. Like, it was a likable character. I mean, in the context of the movie, it's one of the better characters after the Sonic ones, obviously. And I think most importantly, I would like to see him again in the third movie. I mean, if he's married to Rachel and Rachel's Maddie's sister and Maddie is married to Tom, then Tom is friends with Sonic. It makes sense that we'll probably see him again. Then we've got the Russian whole Siberia, all the dances and shit. Like, I mean, whatever. Like, I didn't hate the bar. What was it, a bar? I didn't hate the dance scenes or anything like that. I don't think they were horrible. I don't think it should have been cut out of the movie because, like, I feel like Sonic and Tails needed some time to actually bond and become, like, actual friends, because they did rush the whole Sonic and Tails become best buds thing a little bit too quick, in my opinion, but the dance scene kind of gave it a bit of fleshing out. Maybe we needed a bit more, but I still feel like without that dance scene, it would have been a bit too rushed to call Sonic and Tails best buds or whatever. So I think that scene needed to be there, but maybe it could have been something cooler or more interesting than just a dance scene. Like maybe they could have gone to a casino and some casino night shit. That would have been interesting. I don't think a Russian dance scene was the thing that they should have gone with, but I think the scene needed to be there. And speaking of the devil, we've got Tails himself, and I feel like in this movie they nailed Tails' personality. That being said, I don't think that means I should give him an S, because even though they nailed his personality, it's still Tails, right? Like I'm not gonna give Tails an S. Like, let's be real. I think Tails is like a high A. I mean, look, his goal is to be Sonic's sidekick. He's not as interested, like, it's not as interested on his own. You know, it's not one of those characters that he alone could be on the screen and I'm interested. Like, Knuckles carries shit. Like, in my opinion, Pete Tails is always gonna be like that 4Kids era, like Sonic X Tails. Like, he really did a lot of shit in that. I mean, I guess Adventure 1, he did some shit as well, but I'd still say that Amy Pallant era Tails will always be my favorite. That's probably the only Tails that I could see myself giving like a genuine S rank to in terms of like characterization. This Tails is close to what you would expect of Tails, but as it's still Tails, I think the A is a fair ranking for that. And then we've got Tom Mikowski, Donut Lord. Oh, I know I harp on him a lot, but honestly, I think he is an important character to the movie franchise. I mean, the first movie, he was one of the most important characters after Robotnik and Sonic, so he was like top 3 in that movie. But here, obviously, he goes down as like Knuckles is there and like all these other characters are there. So I don't know. I feel like he's still like the heart of the movie in a sense that he does keep Sonic grounded. But I mean, he's a cop. We didn't see him be a cop once in this movie, I believe, because he was like a cop for most of the first movie. Because of the whole Hawaii trip in the sequel, we didn't really get to see him in that element. But you know, I'm gonna give Tom. I'm gonna give him the low S. I'm gonna give him the low S. I know that sounds a bit extreme for Tom, but the truth is, the most heartfelt moments with Sonic usually involve Tom. And because of that, I feel like he's an important character to the movie. Obviously, more so in movie 1, in terms of the heartfelt moments, but he still had some here as well, and I feel like I wouldn't want to see Tom be removed from this franchise. Most important non-Sonic character in this movie franchise, so yeah. Then we've got whoever the fuck this guy is. I've forgotten his name. Did we even find out his name? This is one of the earliest scenes in the movie, like Sonic's first scene where he's stopping the, was it a bank robbery and this guy was one of the guys that got like handcuffed to the back of the van because the robbers obviously took hold of the van, and Sonic came to save the day or whatever. And while he only had one real scene, I think his scene was one of the most entertaining scenes in the movie. It kind of makes sense that he should get a decent ranking even though he wasn't in a lot of the movie. I wouldn't want to give him a low ranking. He did a good job of entertaining me. Like, there was the bomb and there was all sorts of things, and he was quipping back with Sonic, and it was really good banter. And Sonic said one thing that when I was in the cinema, I was like, oh, when the Frontiers gameplay comes out and it's mid, these motherfuckers are gonna use this clip on me. And it was like, Sonic went to him and said, you know what, your negative attitude is not helping anyone. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, they're so gonna use this on me when Frontiers gameplay comes out. But I think he did a good job. For a small role, he showed up, and I have to give him props. I'm gonna give him the A, okay? I think it's really fair. That leaves Wade, the worst character in the movie. I know what you're thinking, right? Really? Wade was the worst character? Yes, okay? In the first movie, he was, I guess, okay. He's worse here. Every scene with Wade was not good. Like, Wade's lines, not important. You know, he had the line about giving something to someone that's not his mother, some shit like that. And then he had the Knuckles joke. If it's the same Knuckles, then we're screwed. Wasn't funny. And then you had the whole situation where he broke into the Mean Bean and had Stone to the chair, and I'm like, what is going on here? Why is this scene here? That scene was worse than the wedding scene. Why was Stone there and then Wade was there asking dumb questions and trying to interrogate Stone? You're not interrogating no one. Like, what do you want in your baby? All the Wade scenes could have been cut out. People saying the wedding scene was the worst scene in the movie. No. The Wade scenes were the worst scenes in the movie. Wade did not add any positive value to the movie, and for that reason, he gets the F tier. I'm sorry. I could have named this whole like tier just the Wade tier, but you know, it's just, we'll just leave it at F for now. Like, I would be fine if Wade didn't come back in the third movie. I mean, okay. I mean, that's kind of harsh. No disrespect to the actor. It's not really the actor's fault, but like, I just feel like they're not doing much good with this Wade character right now. Like, if he wants to come back in movie 3, fine, but they gotta write him better. Like, they gotta do something a bit more interesting with him to justify, because right now, like, when Wade was on the screen, I was just like, ugh, what is going on with this guy? It was like that one thing that Sonic said in the first movie, ugh, I can't with this guy, or I can't with that guy. I've forgotten what he said, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the tier list. I think it's pretty fair. People are gonna disagree because it's a tier list. But for the characters that were in the first movie, I'd say most of them improved. Rachel improved, Stone improved, Sonic improved. Tom, I guess, stayed around the same level in terms of his characterization. Obviously, he got less screen time, but Olive Garden guy, I guess, was around the same. Maddie probably went down a little bit, though. Wade definitely went down. He was already not the greatest in the first movie, but he went down here. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for this tier list. Let me know what you guys think about my list. You can make your own list. I'll leave a link to my tier list template in the description below. And hopefully the third movie comes out in a few years and we could do a character tier list ranking for that. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Premy out.